Well, hello, friends. It's so good to be with you today. I hope you're having a great day. Hey, guess what? It's Friday. It means God has kept us and blessed us another week. What do you say? Let's go ahead and gather our faith around us and let's get ready to go out here and finish this week strong in the power of the Word and the power of the Spirit and in our faith in God and His Word. Well, welcome to another edition of Take 5, and we are talking about the subject that we've entitled The Faithful Steward. Now, last week we talked about being a steward of our finances and our resources and our possessions, and that's a real important part of stewardship. The Bible talks about it in many places, but we've also learned and are learning that there are a lot of other things that God intends for us to steward. As a matter of fact, everything in life has to do with stewardship because we really own nothing. We're just stewards. God owns everything that is about us and that has to do with us, and we're just stewards. And so this week we have been looking at the fact that God intends for us to steward our bodies. Let me read 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20 just to kind of help us understand that real quick. You should know that your body is the temple for the Holy Spirit. So that's why we steward it, right? Because this is the temple of the Holy Spirit. We received it from God and He lives in us. You do not own yourself. So God is the owner and we're the steward. God paid a very high price to make you His, so honor God with your body. And we've been talking about that all week, how important it is for us to be good stewards of the body that God has given us. Number one, because we're fearfully and wonderfully made and designed by God. Number two, because this is God's house. And number three, because this is the vehicle, this body right here. It's the vehicle that God has given us to minister and live out this life and be the hands and feet and the mouth of Jesus. That's what this body is. It's the vehicle God's given us for ministry. So we should steward it and manage it so that we do not cut our purpose in life short. Now, since we're talking about our purpose and talking about ministry, let's move to the next thing that I think God intends for us to steward well, and that's our giftings. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse number 10 explains this. Peter said, each of you should use whatever gift you have received. Now notice that it's not a gift that we own. It's a gift that we have received. If we received it, we received it from the owner. Use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in various forms. So he says that we are supposed to take the gifts that we have received, be good stewards of them, and serve other people with them as faithful stewards. Now, I know when I say the word gift, especially in relation to reading it from the scriptures or talking about it in church, the first thing that we think of is, a ministry office or a position in the church or something like that. But that's not all that means. That word gift is the Greek word charisma, and it is whatever ability or endowment that God has given us that enables us to help others. Albert Barnes really penned the best definition to this word, comparing it to the Greek language. Let me read his definition. It's a little lengthy, but let me read it to you. The word gift means an endowment of any kind, but especially something conferred by the Holy Spirit. Well, we know that. We know whatever we have, whatever our ability is, it come from the Holy Spirit. It come from God. We received it from someone greater than ourselves. He says here it seems to refer to every kind of endowment by which we can do good to others, especially every kind of qualification furnished by religion by which we can help others. See, it keeps pointing back to others. That's the reason He gave you whatever gifting, ability, or talent you have. He gave it to you for somebody else. Not to spotlight you, but so that you could be a helping hand to someone else. Last part of that definition says it does not refer here particularly to the ministry of the word or an office in the church, though it is applicable to that, but it refers to all the gifts and graces by which we can contribute to the welfare of others. So I want to ask you today, what are you doing with the gift, the ability, the talent that God has given you to do good things for others? What are you doing with that? Now you might say, Russ, well, I don't have a named gift. Well, guess what? I've got a lot of gifts that God's given me that really don't have a name either. I know we think of the 9 spiritual gifts in Corinthians 12 and 14 that Paul refers to, but there's so many other things that God has enabled us to do on a day-to-day basis, not just at church. To some, it's the ability to give, to help others. To some, it's the ability to sit and patiently listen. That's hard, isn't it? I struggle with that. I'm not real sure I have that gift, and everybody thinks I should because I'm a pastor, but to be able to sit and just to lend a patient ear, to empathize and sympathize with people, that's sometimes one of the greatest gifts. To be able to give a smile when they need it, a hug when they need it, to have compassion when they need it. There's so many things that are tied up in this idea of gifting. As a matter of fact, Paul listed the 9 gifts of the Spirit, but he also listed some other ministry gifts, and one of them, because I don't believe he had any more words or paper or ink to write on, one of them, he just said the gift of helps. That means anything that you can do that helps another. Whatever it is, anything you can do that helps another person, that's the gift that God has given you, and you should be a good steward of that. I help people from time to time with physical things around their home. Sometimes when people have an issue that they can't fix or they can't repair, God has gifted me to be able to fix things with my hands. Yes, I do it as a little side hustle as well. I do that. But there are a lot of people that God allows me to just help. Something's broken in their home. Something's torn up. An electrical wire, a water pipe, whatever the case may be that God enables me to help them with that they may not could afford to get done, or they may not could do it themselves, whatever the case may be. I'm supposed to manage that gift. So you see, it's not just about what I'm doing right now, sitting at a lectern teaching. It's not just about that. It's not just about prophesying in church or teaching a class or something of that nature. It's anything that God has conferred to you, that God has endowed you and enabled you to be able to help others. That is considered a gift from God. We did not create it on our own. We received that ability, whatever it is, from God, and we are to be a good steward with it and use it and not just sit on it and hide it. God got very upset with that 1-talent guy in Matthew 25 because he hid his talent in the dirt. He hid that money. He hid his ability, whatever you want to call it. He hid it in the dirt and did not use it, and God got very upset with him. And I believe he gets equally upset with us when we don't use the giftings that he has provided us in order to help others along the way in their journey in life and in their journey with Jesus Christ. Well, hey, I've got to get out of here. It's been good being with you today. I've almost turned my pulpit over and everything else. I guess I'm a little too excited, I guess. Hey, I look forward to being with you this weekend in worship service, and then Monday as we start a brand new series of Take 5 devotions. Until then, God bless you. Have a great weekend. Remember, friend, trust the Lord. He will never fail you.